I'm going to see if I'm awake enough to do a review of Shetland. Now, this show is so good that it deserves me to be wide awake. I'm going to tell you how, not awake I am. I woke up this morning, and it was one of those nights where, I slept straight through the night. But I probably should have gotten up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because I had to go to the bathroom so bad when I finally, I kept waking up thinking I should get up and go to the bathroom, but I don't want to because I'm laying here and I don't want to move. And I think that I was so tired. So I've been out of town, and yesterday was our travel day. So we drove back home for 3 hours, and then there's a bunch of when you're getting ready to leave. Now my kid does a lot of the heavy lifting, but getting stuff packed, getting stuff to the car, getting stuff home, out of the car, in the house, unpacked, etc. Now there's a ton of stuff I haven't unpacked because if you know anything about me, you know that I have stuff that's sitting there that's not been unpacked. I don't want somebody who does know me, who's watching this, to think that I've been abducted by aliens and I came home and unpacked all my stuff and everything's organized, because it's just not me. I mean, maybe it will be one day. I'm only 55. There's still time to change, but one of the reasons I like to tell people stuff like this is because I really love it when people feel like they're not alone if they roll anywhere remotely like I do. And if they do, bless you. And I'm sorry that you too, are probably, what's the word I'm looking for? It's rough to have I was going to say lack of organizational skills, but also, what? Let's chalk it up to some undiagnosed neurodivergence, because people weren't going around diagnosing neurodivergence, back when we were kids, meaning Gen Xers and stuff. And obviously Gen Xers and is boomers right before Gen Xers? Is there something in between Gen Xers and boomers? I don't know. But, my kid who deals with, neurodivergence is neurodivergent, has absolutely diagnosed me as undiagnosed neurodivergent. This is a lot of information for somebody who came here to watch something about Shetland, but, that's what makes me better and worse than people who just give you entertaining television reviews, because it's part vlog and part, let me tell you about this TV show, right? Okay. Anyway, guys, Shetland is one of my favorite international police procedurals that I have consumed. So one of the things that makes this so special is my kid also loves this show. And one of the reasons that my kid loves this show is Douglas Henshaw, who plays Jimmy Perez. And the show takes place on Shetland, which is in Scotland. And if you guys go and watch the show and don't come away wanting to speak with a Scottish accent, then, you're doing better than we do, because the show makes me want to speak in a Scottish accent all the time, which I can't do because it would sound terrible. But Jimmy Perez is one of my favorite television police officer detectives that I have ever met in my entire life. He is just such first of all, he's a Rizzler. So he's exactly what I'm looking for in a man. I want middle-aged. I want somebody who looks exhausted. I don't necessarily want somebody who looks like he's there carrying the weight of the world around on their shoulders, but he is all the time. So he also has that I like that world weary look, but for my man, I'd like him to not be fully world weary, having to deal with all the stuff that Jimmy Perez is dealing with. So, but he's in my opinion, a very handsome man, but he's also very charismatic. But he's also, you'll see, like when it comes to dealing with the ladies, like he has the ability to be a complete and utter Rizzler, like for sure. But he like is really good at blowing it too, on account of, you know, his life being consumed by his job and his social skills being lacking. When we meet Jimmy Pettis, he is a widower, and he's raising at the start of a teenage daughter. And the way that I watched this show was really strange, because I had always seen, I'd have to look back and see when the show started, because they just finished season 9 like last year. So this had to have started in like 2015-ish or something. And I just came to the show, like, when did we start watching it? It had to be sometime this year, okay? And I'd always seen it pop up when I'm watching other things on like Acorn or something. And I'd always seen a picture of Douglas Henshaw, right? And then for seasons 8 and 9, I saw that it was Ashley Jensen who was on there with, oh my God, I'm blanking on the woman's name who plays Tosh. Tosh, who is on the show for all of the 9 seasons. But in the seasons 8 and 9, we don't have Douglas Henshaw anymore. We have Ashley Jensen as the, person who's a partner for Tosh. Okay. So I was like wondering, what do they, what's the deal? And I like Ashley Jensen. I know her from Agatha Raisin, which I never finished, because like the first season of Agatha Raisin, which only a few episodes, I think, like I really enjoyed, maybe even the second, but then it got a little, I don't know, I kind of lost interest in it. At some point I'll go back and see if I want to watch the rest of those. But anyway, I like Ashley Jensen. And so I was curious, I'm like, what do they do? Like, what happens? So I might have actually started this show by watching seasons 8 and 9 first, which is weird. Or I watched like season 1 of, God, anybody who's trying to follow this, I really feel sorry for them. But season 1 of the show is only 4 episodes, and what it is it's two-parters. So it's season 2 is also formatted that same way, and all of those stories, like 4 stories, are based on books by Anne Cleeves, who has created, Jimmy Pettis and these characters and stuff like that, right? So they're all based on her books. And then going forward, seasons 3 through 9 are longer. They're 6 episodes. Why am I blanking? We've literally just devoured. I believe it's 6. And it's a season, or a series, as they say, long mystery. And they're based on characters by Anne Cleeves. So these aren't based on a book that she wrote, right? They're not an adaptation of a book like the first 2 seasons are. But anyway, I think I started with seasons 8 and 9. And to see, am I going to... Actually, okay. Sorry. I'm really sorry about this. I think what I did was watch the first 2 episodes of season 1. It's like, I really like this show. But then I skipped ahead to seasons 8 and 9 because of my morbid curiosity of wanting to know why Jimmy is not on the show because that's how much I enjoyed him in the first story, right? So I skipped 8 and 9, and those are still very enjoyable. Like, I went through them like so quickly, and I needed to know that Jimmy, even though he wasn't on the show, was going to be okay. And it's not a huge spoiler to tell you he's going to be okay. Okay? I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. He's going to be fine. But he is not in seasons 8 and 9. And I was concerned that I would not enjoy those seasons. But I did enjoy those seasons. Do I miss Douglas Henshaw? Absolutely. Like anybody who winds up watching, especially when I go back and finish 1 through 7. he's magnetic, and he's part of what makes the show so amazing. But the good news is that there are great supporting characters on this show. And one of a huge star of this show is Shetland. Like, the atmosphere, the scenery, the, Scotland, and all of that is like, it's magnificent. We just went on a trip, and we were up the coast, and there are certain areas where my kid would be like, that's so Shetland, right? And my kid joined me watching this starting in season 3, I think. Just accidentally got involved in it, and like now loves the show and gets to still watch seasons 1 and 2 and 8 and 9, which I already watched, and maybe I'll watch those again. But anyway, it's just so well written. These characters are so fantastic. Like, the acting is so good. The writing is so good. There are places where it will, like, rip your heart out, throw it on the ground, stomp on it. And just honestly, like, there's some storylines that are like really heartbreaking and stuff, but it's not a depressing show. That's the thing. Like, it's, it's heavy and stuff, but it's not like Happy Valley when it comes to how, like, graphic Happy Valley can get sometimes, or how gritty, because it's still, it's gritty, but it's also very warm, because, like, you just wind up caring so much about Jimmy and his family, which also includes Duncan, who is his daughter's biological dad, because he's raised his daughter. This isn't a spoiler, you learn this very early on, but he's raised his daughter from, like, the time she was like a baby. And so they kind of have, but then Duncan, played by, I want to say it's Mark Bonner, who, if you watch any of these kinds of shows, you've seen him. He was in a season of Unforgotten, maybe even the first season, I think. Anyway, he's been in a ton of stuff. I think I saw him in an old Midsummer recently. God, everybody be in Midsummer, by the way. Like, this episode of Midsummer Murders that I'm watching, yeah, I'm in the middle of it. They're so long. Like, I could literally watch it over days at a time, just for when I feel like, oh, I don't know what to watch. Okay, let me put on Midsummer Murders, because there's a trillion seasons of the show. And this one that I watched had Saskia Reeves, who I know best from Slow Horses, as like she works in the house as like a housekeeper for these rich people. And then her husband is played by the guy from Chelsea Detective, who I literally didn't even recognize without his hair being like bright red and without his like facial hair. It was so weird. It took me like half the episode to realize who he was. So crazy pants. But anyway, so but they have a great relationship. It is like, there are, there's outside drama going on with him and his, with Jimmy and his family, but then also there's his police family, and it's just, God, you guys. And the fact that it's like this small, it's this island where like everybody kind of knows each other. It's like, it seems very spread out, but at the same time, everybody kind of knows each other and knows everybody's business and stuff. So there's this interconnectedness that happens. And then there are people who will turn up on a later season that we met in a previous season and stuff. And it's just so well done. I cannot, like, I just can't, yeah, I don't know. Jimmy, when they show him in the credits, and it's him standing in like this doorway, and he wears the hell out of this like black like coat, and with the collar will be slightly up, and every time he's got it's just like, he is just, it's aura farming, the kids call it, where you're just like standing there being like we were watching an episode. What did I have my kid watch? Something that had Batman in it. It could have been like Batman Brave and Bold, or something where they showed, maybe, I don't remember what it was, but the kid was said that Batman was aura farming, and the kid started making fun because it's apparently I kept saying aura farming, like I sounded like I was not from here. So anyway, it just means where you're just like standing there just like just being charismatic or whatever, which I was just now not doing, but that's what Jimmy is doing in that doorway every time. So I don't know what else to tell you guys to convince you to watch this, except that everybody's good. All the actors are good. The supporting cast, the writing is excellent, and it just gets you in there, and it makes you just want to keep watching. And I have a 19-year-old who's not easy to impress, who thinks that the show is amazing and that everybody should watch this show. So I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to finish my coffee. It is a half calf because I have to go into the doctor today. I wanted to get out early, get my coffee, and do a half calf, and try to make it so that when they take my blood pressure, it's not terrible, which was one of the reasons I wanted to come and sit where I'm sitting, which I have a nice view of the bay, and then just talk to you guys and just kind of chill out and stuff, even though, because I have like a couple hours before I have to go. And yeah, I'm going to continue on with that. And I really appreciate you being here. If you watch this whole thing, wow, you're the best. Thank you. And I really hope you'll check out the show. I didn't even tell you where you can watch it. It's on BritBox. Now, BritBox is a service that I pay for. And the good thing about it is that you don't have to go through Jeff, if you have Prime, Jeff Bezos, because it is a standalone app. So you can just go on your own and buy it. But also, I'm sure, like everything, probably you can get a free trial. I'm not always trying to convince people to spend money. But on the other hand, I have 80 billion streaming services. So everything that I watch is on some streaming service. So I apologize. I'm really not trying to be like, I think you should go spend this $8 a month. But Shetland, to me, would be worth giving up like a couple coffees a month to watch it, for sure, like 1,000,000%. And if I was smart, that's what I would do. That's how I would justify all of these streaming services, is I would count all of that up and see how many freaking coffees should I not have. And then, you know what, maybe that's a project that I'm going to do. I have a couple of days off still before I go back to work, and maybe I'll try to figure out how I could look at this. Me talking to you guys might have just saved me money. But I'm very irresponsible, so it might not have saved me money. I'm not sure. We'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you watch it, please let me know how you like it. If you do watch it already, please let me know how you like it. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much. Okay, bye.